Man, they got me closing this thing out. Oh my god. Alright. So, I remember that morning, I was sitting with James Wells. We were talking over in my zone, and I heard Tyler Llewellyn and Brenna go out to the call. So we're kind of listening. This is an odd call. So we're sitting there, and my wife had just called because it's towards the end of our shift, so she was seeing what time I was coming home. And so I'm talking to her, and I'm like, well, we're about to head to this call. It's a little strange. So I hung up with her, and we head down there, and we get there. We didn't really know too much about it. Unbeknownst to us, we park right next to it. So of course we moved because that seemed ideal. So, I take my car down to 2nd and Broadway, and Sergeant Miller wanted me to stay down there to help with, because pedestrian traffic on Broadway, and the buses were starting to do their routes and stuff. So of course I was listening and everything, and they went up to the apartments, and I kind of stayed down there and kept on going up to 2nd and Commerce to hear what the RV was saying. And that's just stuff that I'll never forget. The sound of the announcement saying, primary objective is to evacuate now, and it's a female voice, and yeah, it's just odd. And then of course, I'm kind of pacing back and forth because I kept on having to turn pedestrians around. It was a weird feeling not being able to be with everybody else, but I knew that I needed to stay where I was at, because you want to be with your detail, especially when you just have a feeling something's not right, and something that weird, just you don't get stuff like that. So but I was standing there by my car, and I heard Tyler say that music just came on. So I got, I went to go get closer, and I heard it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was about to get on the radio and say, I know it's almost not my place, but everybody's getting out of the buildings, right? We need, I wanted everybody to be safe. But then I saw a group of them, which couldn't really tell, but I was assuming was Brenna and Cypos and Tyler, walk around the RV back towards their cars. So I kind of saw them. And I started walking up to 2nd and Commerce because I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to know, do we need to go to more buildings? What do we need to do? I was just getting really antsy. And I just talked to my wife again. Just told her that things were just really strange. And so, but as I'm walking towards them on the right side of the road, the right side of 2nd, I see Wells at his car, and I was like, well, he's closer, and I'll go talk to him, see what we need to do. So I don't know what told me to do this. It was really weird, but I decided to change my direction, go on the other side of the road, start walking towards Wells. So as I start walking towards him, he starts walking towards me. You can see on the camera too, the footage, I've seen it. And I told him I didn't think anybody would ever believe him how close he was. And I was probably about 10 steps away from him, 15. And we're just walking towards each other, and I just saw the biggest flames I've ever seen, the biggest explosion. I mean, and I just saw orange, and then him, and I saw him stumble. And I felt it, I felt the heat, the wave. And I don't know how I kept my footing, but I kind of blanked and I couldn't see him for a second, and I just lost it, and I just took off in a sprint towards him. And like he said, I've never grabbed somebody so hard in my life. I grabbed him, he grabbed me, and we just ducked into a doorway because we didn't know what was coming afterwards. And I'll never forget the window shattering after the blast all around me. It kind of looked like a big prop from a movie scene, all the glass breaking at once. It hit me all over, but just being able to hold him and grab him, and then the first thing I could do is, you couldn't hear anybody at first. It scared the heck out of me, but just 423, there's been an explosion, and sent multiple medics because I didn't know what we had, and I was so scared that I just lost my entire detail because I didn't know where they were. I just saw them pass by it. Um, so after that, we just, made sure that we felt a little bit safe enough to go back and regroup. And luckily I heard everybody on the radio, and I didn't know how okay everybody was, but I knew everybody was alive. And so I was happy to hear that nobody else was seriously injured, but that's pretty much it.